thing about boxing when it comes down to the highest level, I'm going to speak directly about having the proper cornerman so that you won't have to figure things out in a second fight with your opposition. The thing about cornermen is styles make fights. The thing about it is sometimes your opposition comes into a fight with more than one game plan. So he might bring an entirely different style. When you think of people like Terrence Crawford, who always bring a bevy of tools to the ring just in case you decide to get slick and smart. When you have fighters who go into other training camps, take minds from theirs to add to what they have, and then you still come up short, there's a much deeper problem for those of you who just watch the Anthony Joshua Usyk 2 fight. I got to break something down to you about the importance of learning the right way the first time, because the first thing that'll happen to you as a fighter is that you'll start to depend on someone to save you. And that's one of the things that most people do not understand about the sport of boxing. When you go up against a style in boxing, I'm going to break this down to you. You got to know straight out of the gate that this guy is going to give you discomfort. And are you ready for it? Or are you going to have cheerleaders in your camp? Because you can find many fighters who surround themselves with yes men just for the sake of their ego. But you got to find guys who know how to make adjustments throughout the fight, not in the early parts of the fight, because it's easy to have the first 2 rounds, add that adjustment, and feel like that's enough. But you're going to need that adjustment to kick in at the highest level in the 8th round, the 9th round, take a round off, get back on it, the championship rounds. Because making adjustments to a fighter is more than just you knowing exactly what to do and when to do it, because the opposition is trying to make sure you don't understand when to do that. Why? Because the fight at the higher levels, there ebbs and flows in boxing. So how do you know how to make an adjustment when a guy comes in a fight and he brings a slick style? There's just one focus. A guy who has a slick style, his head is off the line 90% of the time. So the head is never the target in your first shot. It's obvious that you aim directly for the center of the sternum and hook off of that shot, whether it's a straight right, left hook, where it's a jab and hook off of it. These things are all about understanding, making adjustments in a fight. If you come into the ring and your corner, let me repeat that. If you go into a boxing ring and you're an athlete and your corner's ability to make adjustments is suspect, you'd better rethink this, because you don't always get a second chance to make a first impression. You got 3 judges that can make the call. You have to convince them. So not only do you have to win convincingly. So there's no confusion when the judgment comes in. So you got to know you need lineage in your corner, somebody who understands and who's done it before, who's been in those situations, who work on a regular base with the elitist of athletes. Because what is new to some people and confusion is second nature. We call it Tuesday to them. So if you're an elite level fighter and you are in the position that you're going into a fight, you better make sure of this. You better make sure that you have a coach and an assistant that understand how to make adjustments in the fight. Because if you do not, you do not get a second time to make a first impression inside of that boxing ring. When you see a style, you need to know exactly how to make an adjustment to that fight style on a dime. You do not need a rematch to figure that out. And if you do have the wrong corner, because it's only going to happen again, because being educated in boxing is one of the things that most people are not guilty of, meaning they don't come to the ring with enough coin up here. You need all 10 on the Richter scale. So you got to make sure you got the right people in the right place at the right time in the sport of boxing. Congratulations to my man Usyk for showing you styles make fights, and it doesn't matter if you go and make an adjustment, because I'm going to be ready to make that adjustment as well. So you better have 5 cornermen, because I have more and I came to bring the smoke. That's all I got. My name is Coach Eric A. Bradley, and I teach the science of boxing. Thank you for watching the show. Let me know what you thought of the fight. Did you actually see the fight? And this was just a spontaneous thing. I just wanted people to understand that when you are a great fighter, you can overcome any hurdle. And Usyk did it. That's how you do it. Anthony Joshua, he got to go figure things out. You guys continue to watch. Do what it takes to elevate your game, because boxing is not forgiving. Trust me. And if you've never been at the highest level of boxing, you take this advice and understand it's a serious sport. And what those guys are going through, you may not understand right now, but one day when you're walking that aisle with these guys, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. You don't get a second time to make a first impression. Peace out, guys. Be safe.